Hello there again. Today's little project, I'm going to make a envelope opener, basically a knife out of this piece of wood. The main purpose of the project is I'm going to try and incorporate a resin handle on this end, but I want it in a spiral effect of two different colours, and I'll see how I'm going to get myself around that and actually do it. So we've got an handle there, there'll be a blade out here. It might end up being like a dagger effect, or if I get carried away with the sander, it'll end up being a little envelope opener. So first of all, we need to draw on roughly what we're going to need. This handle looks fine at this end, so that'll be my handle, roughly. I want a little nodule on the end, a little blob. So there. So we'll mark it off about there, I reckon. So that'll be the end. That'll be the end of the handle. That'll be enough. And then the blade. I want to go about there with the blade. And that's all we need so far. So roughly, as you can see from there, I don't know how to make that a proper blade. No, I want to get me centre of that like so. And I'm going to come over here with that. Just very roughly. I'll come over there with that side. Doesn't have to be spot on, it's only a rough guideline for now. By the time I finish with the sander, it could be totally different again. So yeah, there's a little blade sorted. The main thing I'm trying to work out is how to get the resin on the handle in a spiral effect. So that bit will be there. You can imagine that be the end of the blade. There'll be one at this end, and then obviously we'll get the handle something like that inside there. These are only rough guidelines, remember, they don't be too near. So there's your basic shape. So let's start off firstly by cutting this off here. Okay, you can see from that we've got the basic shape we need, because a lot of this will be done with the Dremel and some sanding burrs. So it doesn't matter if you've gone all crazy there. I mean, that's well out there, look. All I wanted to do was get the basic shape so I can work on it later with the sanding burrs on the Dremel. So as far as I'm done, that's it for the scroll saw. Now we'll move on to the Dremel and the sander. Okay, as you can see from that, the blade itself is taking shape. It looks like it might end up being an envelope opener, because the blade's getting smaller and smaller by the second. This is still a rough outline, remember, but you can see the general idea. And now we're going to do now is do exactly the same thing with the handle. Right, you can see from that we're taking shape nicely. This was literally done in an hour. So we're a fair way to go yet. But for my benefit, this video is not a case of how to carve or make a wooden knife. I'm experimenting with trying to do a spiral effect with 2 different coloured resins on the handle. So that's the purpose of the video today. That's more important to me than the actual knife itself. This could have been a brooch or medallion or some dangly thing around your neck, you know. Okay, the spiral effect. For me, I'm basically going to get a piece of cable and wrap that round like so. And then I will draw over that with a pencil, either side, and then I'm going to carve that out with a Dremel and something like this. And then, to be honest, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. I'm either going to try and sellotape over the top of it, leaving a little hole here, and pour the resin in. I think that's just going to take too long to go around that little circuit we've made. The other option would be maybe to make a plastic frame out of any old plastic. The containers that your meat products come in, they're ideal. Fill it full of resin, then sink this in. However, that way I'm going to have a lot of work to carve all this back out again. But hopefully it will leave me with, I'll say yellow for now, should leave me with a yellow spiral band. And then we'll take out the wood in between and hopefully go through the same procedure again. We'll see how we get on. I'll draw my spiral on for now, and then we'll get on to carving it out, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, as you can see there, we've drawn the spiral on, and I've started taking out the section that we're going to put in our first colour. So I'll just nibble away slowly at this. This is the piece I'm using. Don't ask me what it's called, I have no idea. And all I'm doing is going around like so. I'll show you a little bit. I'm actually trying to set the camera in front of me. I'm here. So I'm going to try and do it over the top. I'm just playing about with this camera, guys, so I do apologise if it's coming out rubbish. I'm just a poor man in a poor shed, so bear with me. I'll show you a little bit to get you going. Right, we've done the spiral effect. You can see that. Now I've tried different ways of thinking how I'm going to fill these lines in. I covered it all with sellotape and made a slit in the top. Then I wasn't too sure if some of the sellotape had gone into the grooves. Ideally, a little cylinder where you could drop this in, let it set. Then I think there's a lot of sanding out. There's a lot of sanding to take out of there. So in the end, I've just got myself a bit of plastic. I don't know if you can see that. This was off the front of a chocolate box. And I've cut it to fit on there. Lucky enough, we've got these stumps on the end. Now I'm thinking, if I sellotape that one there and that one there, that will make a nice little trough to basically pour the resin in. We're going to get quite a bit in these corners, but it sands out pretty easy. So I'll get this stuck on off camera and then we'll start mixing the resin. The resin I'm going to use is my amazing clear cast A and B. The good thing about this, it's 1-to-1, 50-50 or whatever. So I mark off one container for the resin and I mark off another one for the hardener. Mix the two together, drop in a bit of colour. For the first lines on this handle, I'm going to go red. Then I might put in yellow afterwards, orange, we'll see. But for this one, I'm going to go red. So I'll mix all this resin up, get my plastic sides on, and then we'll start pouring this. Right, we've got our plastic trough all sorted. Popped a clamp on the end, just keep it in place. And always get it over a tray. We've mixed the red up. Now it's a case of just filling it in, and hopefully it's not going to burst and we lose it everywhere. Looking at the sides of this, it's quite springy, so I will just pop a couple of springs on afterwards. Basically just to squash it up so I'm not having to sand off so much resin at the end. So we'll start filling this in now and see what we've got. Right, that's all fallen out. It was a bit of a disaster, to be honest. I think I should have used a hot glue gun and sealed the ends proper. And then I didn't mix enough resin, so I had to make a top up, but as you can see, it's in now, so we'll let that set, and then I'll peel off the sellotape and then start sanding again and sand it back down to the wood, and hopefully we're left with red stripes, spiral effect, until the next colour. Right, that's all set nicely. Believe it or not, I've actually peeled off the plastic already, which was that was basically stuck around here. So that's worth knowing for next time. Look how cool that came off. That is lovely and shiny and smooth. It's a shame we're going to sand it all down, because you can basically see underneath there. That's the effect we're looking for at the end. So I'll have all this to sand off. I think next time I may put some soft glue from the heat gun in each of these corners, just to save me sanding down. But look how shiny that is. I think that's pretty cool. So I'll certainly use that plastic again for next time. And that just peeled off in one go. That was lovely. Brilliant. Okay, let's go to the workshop. Now we've got some serious sanding to do. What we've got to look out for, like these ends, is not to sand down too much, because we're going to lose most of the handle if we're not careful. So we'll start sanding this down and see what we get. I think this is going to be one of those projects that's just going to go wrong. I've started this one. Unfortunately, I didn't start it with the Dremel there. I've had this for 3 years. I've never had any bother, and the bushes have finally worn away. However, I've got a little backup gun, and I've had a go with that. And yeah, you can see the effect we're going for. I'll continue with this one. It's got no flexi shaft on it or anything, so I'm going to struggle with this. So I'll continue and take all this out and come back when it's done. In the meantime, I'll go and order some new bushes for the other one. Right, that's all the red resin sanded away, and I've definitely got the effect I was looking for. Now we're going to do is take out all the wood. I've had one of those light bulb moments, and I realised I should have just done the full thing in yellow and then carved out the red lines. That would have been a lot easier. As it is, I've got to take out all the wood, so that's a lesson learned. As you can see, I've already started. I've got my new bushes in, so I've got my little flexi shaft back, so I'm happy with that. So all I need to do is to peel away at this and leaving just enough thickness to go through the same procedure with yellow, and then we'll sand that down, and hopefully we'll get an handle, a yellow handle with red line spiral running through it. You could have done another thin line, you could just leave it like that, to be honest, but I'll nibble away at this and then come back when it's done. I've got a flatted burr on here. You can't even see that. This has got to be one of my worst videos I've made, seriously. But I'll have a little nibble to get us going. Right, that's all the wood I need to take out finished. I'm going to do the same casing with the plastic I made on the last one. Seal that in, pour the yellow resin in there, let it go off. I've got enough to fill in the gaps in between there, look, you can see. And then we'll sand it all down, and hopefully we'll get the two colours together. There is still wood left on the end of these, but I'm not that bothered, to be honest. It's a trial thing at the end of the day. So, yep, I'll get this set up and then we'll come back when it's ready for sanding. Okay, that's all the yellow done. That's all set nicely. I've pulled the plastic off. I'm basically just going to sand this down with a couple of little burrs like these. I won't show you that because it's identical to what we did with the red. So I'll crack on and sand this down and come back when it's done. Right, that's all sanded down now, as you can see. What you do now is just smooth it off and sand it down a bit. I'm going to start off with a 1000 paper, up to a 1200, then a 1500. I did have a 2000, but it's disappeared somewhere in the shed. There's no need to go too over the top with this, because at the end of the day, I'm going to just get a little piece of resin and just basically paint over the top, and that will make it even smoother. But for now, I'm just going to have a little dab with these sanders. Put a bit of water on, and then basically we're just going to start sanding like that, and hopefully that red should come through nicely. Then we move on to the 1200, then up to the 15. But you can see the general idea. So I'm going to keep on with this, finish this off, bit of stainer on there, and this project's finished. So I'll carry on with this. Right, that's finished now. I don't know if you can see there, it's come out nice and shiny. I'm not bothered putting the resin on top, and I'm quite happy just to leave that like that. At one stage I was going to take off these bits off the end, but for the purpose of this experiment, that's come out pretty cool. Like I say, the knife wasn't the main issue, the envelope opener. So yeah, that's this project finished. Thank you for watching.